you notice that when I make a turn, pay attention to the belt buckle position here. When I make a turn to the left, in fact, my belt buckle position turn to the right. If I'm going right, the belt buckle position turn to the left. So the twist is right over in this position. So again, I'm using the abdominal and the back to make this twist movement.
So you see, the situation is much more complex than what you can see from the video. Secondly, the core muscle, especially in the abdominal area, there are many different sets of muscle arranged in different ways to control movement in different directions. There is no way a teacher could tell you how to use which set. And also, you will not be able to segment your muscle into different pairs and control it. So the teacher cannot teach you, and you will not be able to control it. So there's no way you can learning start from the internal muscle area. The only way to learn the internal discipline, the only way is from outside in. So let me explain what is outside in. Outside in means you learn external movements correctly, precisely, and have the body posture or skeletal structure correctly. So you practice it that way day in and day out. Gradually, your non-responsive and dull core part of the muscle starts to respond to the external movements. And gradually, it falls into the right track with the external movements. And eventually, the internal movements and external movements unify into one. Because teacher can teach you the external movements correctly, precisely. And you could try to do it correctly. Although that is in many times takes a long time because people have bad habits. So they cannot do the movements correctly because their previous bad habits or their body posture, they cannot carry their body posture correctly because of previous bad habits. So that usually is actually quite a time-consuming for a lot of people to correct their previous bad habits so they can do the external movements with the right body posture correctly. But at least it is teachable and you could learn from it because it's all these external things you can learn it. And that is exactly what all the masters teach internal discipline. That is how Master Wu Jianquan teach my teacher, Yang Hubiao, and Yang Hubiao taught me in that way, using square form and round form. Now let's take a quick look at the square form.
Historically, the square form was taught only to the inner circle of students who were groomed to be the heir to the master's martial art dynasty. These students were usually the family members of the master, and a few selected outsiders who served as apprentice to the master. I think there are several reasons that the square form was not taught to the general student body. Certainly, one is the time availability of the teacher as well as the student, since the learning of square form is very time-consuming. It is also a severe test on the perseverance and aptitude of the student.
Many Taiji practitioners criticize this form of a square form as too precise, mechanical, and robotic. Yes, it is. The reason is we need that for many reasons, but for training the internal discipline, especially you require that. Because, don't forget, you are training initially your core body is unresponsive to your demand. It is dull. It's not a very sensitive. So think about you are training a dog to do tricks. So what you have to do, your training method has to be precise and repeatable. If you have a wishy-washy training routine, you are never training the dog to do tricks. So you are training your dog here. Has to be precise, instruction has to be precise and repeatable. So let's take a look at an example here. How we train the walking in Taiji. Taking a step. How we use the internal power to taking a step in the walking. To take a step, you bend your knee, lift the foot forward, put down, without the body go forward. Body still stay back. Now you drop the toe by tilting the pelvis. Otherwise, if you don't tilt in the pelvis, your body will go forward with dropping the toe. So, drop the toe, body stay back. Now, you use the core muscle pulling on the front foot. When the front foot bends, you bring the body forward. So now you can see this movement, the internal core muscles movement. And for most students have the bad habit of body go forward, in putting down the foot, body go forward a little bit, drop the toe, body go forward. If your body is already go forward, you don't need to using the internal core. The other one is pushing. Instead of pulling using the core muscle, pulling on the front foot, they push a little bit. Any kind of this push, you're not using the core muscle. You are using leg muscle to push. That's external movement. So you have to use the internal core, then you cannot push. So these are the bad habits when students come to learn, is very difficult to correct. So in the small circle square form, we use the external movements to induce the internal movement, to train the internal movement.